Welcome back. Now, Nando's is well known for its marketing and lightning quick wit on Twitter. But is that the secret sauce to its success? And is it marketing enough for a fast food outlet when the cost of living is soaring? Let's chat to Nando's General Manager of Digital Marketing, Darren Hampton, joins me now. Darren, good morning. Thank you for coming through. The early hours of the morning. So let's talk about, first of all, the role of digital marketing at Nando's and how important is it for you to engage with your customers through digital marketing?
Yeah, well, I mean, as you know, South Africa is always an interesting space. There's never a shortage of things to talk about. And I think Nando's as a brand over the last 34 years since it started has always been, or prided itself around being on top of what South Africans feel, think and believe at that particular point. And that's really been the foundation for a lot of the marketing and the advertising that's gone out. I think the digital space allows us to apply those same principles, but now, we have a two-way conversation all of a sudden. It's no longer just simply broadcast. So it throws a whole nother dynamic into play.
Yeah, and I know that other brands are doing it too with a government, private, public sector. It seems like everyone is moving to social media, or at least digitally, to engage with customers or their audiences. But is the whole population there? I wonder if, the rest that aren't on necessarily on smartphones or on the internet are missing out on that engagement. What's your view about those who are not necessarily there on social media?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Whilst there's a huge sense of scale on social platforms, the conversations that are having there are not necessarily the conversations that are happening offline. I think there's a common mistake to think that South Africa is what Twitter says, for example, or Facebook. But the digital landscape is a unique place to play and is a portion of a total bigger marketing machine that is out there. But it's important to, I suppose, understand what the platform is there for and how you as a brand can play.
And I wonder what's better, being a passive brand or having that engagement with your audience, with your customers? Because obviously you can get called out. You can have days where, there's an attempt to cancel you. There's cancel culture. Right now, you're never afraid as a company, as an organization, as a brand, that engagement then means opening up ourselves to criticism, to probably even fake news even.
Yeah, and I think you have to be okay with that. One of the unintended consequences, particularly of social media at the moment, is often what you say is not yours, and that's whether a brand or on a personal capacity. So as much as you have intention in what you plan, I think you also have to be agile enough to respond if things don't go according to plan, which is the reality of what we face today.
Yeah. When you engage with, customers, especially during a time when the economy is at record lows, when, fuel prices are high and people are thinking Nando's at this time is a luxury, but yet you still need to do your job and promote that scrumptious meal. I mean, do you ever find it difficult to almost read the room and say, probably with this 100 Rand, there's a family out there that needs to spend it on more people, on more things than just a meal for Nando's? And how do you maneuver then, conversations like that?
Yeah, absolutely. The context within which you operate is vital.
Right.
And I think that's what prompted a lot of the campaigns that we've run, particularly of late. So as a brand, we always try to look for where is the positive, what is the sentiment, what is the mood at the moment, and where can we, I suppose, contribute as part of that. So a classic example of that is a recent campaign called Bright Sides. Look, as South Africans, we've had a lot thrown at us, especially of late, and it's hit our pockets. So we talk about, petrol price, we're talking about rising inflation. I mean, things are bad when even the president has to auction off some of his assets, But then on top of that, you've got load shedding, and the daily frustrations that comes with that. So it affects us as a business as well. So we asked ourselves, well, what if we could get South Africans to actually look forward to load shedding? Like, what would that look like? And so the campaign Bright Sides was started, which essentially, if you order a full chicken on the Nando's app or website, you get a free side depending on what stage of load shedding we're on as a country. So it's some light on what is a fairly dark.
Well, it's expected from Nando's. You are Nando's, so it is expected that you would be so witty with it. But also, where does that come from? Where does that positioning come from? Are you not, because oftentimes when Nando's comes up with the ad, we know we're going to either laugh, chuckle, or at least think more, get, our thoughts provoked a bit, as opposed to other brands who would just, say, hey, this is what we're doing, and you just want to keep it politically correct, just purchase this and that. How did you position yourself, digitally especially, as a company, as a brand?
Yeah, I think it started, at the genesis of the brand. The brand started in 1987, which was it was a very turbulent and volatile time in South Africa. So I think it had to be, in order to stand out, it had to understand what we were going through. And I think being a South African brand as well, we live that experience, as employees, but also as a brand as well. There was a quote, Carl Clandry said that a problem is what it is, but the ability to laugh at it really disarms it.
Right.
And I think that's the kind of approach that we take as a brand. If you can laugh at a situation, it brings some sort of light and puts things in perspective.
Yeah. In terms of the lessons that you have learned, especially with digital marketing, what do those include, would you say?
Sure. Well, success is a bad teacher. So
okay.
I think a lot of people and we're very blessed with that, is that people remember the good stuff. But with every good campaign that comes out there are 3 or 4 bloopers, and you have to be okay with that, and to continuously experiment and to pioneer or to play in a space that nobody else is playing. Things aren't going to work.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I guess for most young people who are getting into the digital marketing space right now, either opening up their small businesses or getting to those careers, these are really lessons they should consider, that it's okay. Those bloopers will come through, and that engagement is still equally important. But Darren, thank you so much for joining us right here on the South African Morning. That, of course, is Darren Hampton, Digital Marketing Journal Manager at Nando's.